What? Bang!
Whoa! Wrestling podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep, screw, rep.
Yeah!
Woo! Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable!
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Randy Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty! I said WWE stands for! It's me, Austin! I will never retire!
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Hey, look, are you sick and tired of dropping far too much cash every single year for the latest and greatest wrestling game? You gotta stop. Put that cash back in your pocket. Instead, go to app.wrestlerunstoppable.com. That would be Wrestler Unstoppable, the online game where it's totally free to create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs. You could even build your own corporation from the ground up. I mean, everything from the customization of your wrestler to the customization of your company, the divisions, the championships, everything, all included, totally free in Wrestler Unstoppable. While you're there, look for Odin Maximus. That's my avatar. I'll be happy to help you get started in the game. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like my good buddy John down in Texas, then you got to swing by our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. Look, we got multiple tiers. Let's talk about it. You've got a free tier. You sign up. You sponsor the show by just being one of our free tier members, and they will notify you every time a new episode goes live. If you want to make a monetary donation, we appreciate that. It's not obligated, but if you do that, I will put you in all the shout outs no matter what the monetary amount is. If you want to become a part of the show, you actually want to host with me. $15 a month contributors get to guarantee themselves an opportunity to host a show. $7.50 a month get entered into a drawing to also co-host an episode with myself. And I'd love to do that. If you want to be a part of the show, make sure you do that and subscribe today. Otherwise, we are available on every kind of social media you can dream of, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Odysee, Daily Motion, Bluesky, you name it, we're on it. Instagram. Check us out on all of them. Like, share, comment, subscribe. That helps the logarithm so we can bring more content to you and help you guys enjoy the show. Hopefully, what we're doing here, you enjoy. The comments are the big thing and the likes are a big thing. We really need to drive those. And we always appreciate subscriptions. So, again, though, no obligation, but we'd love to have you as part of the family. If you have questions, comments, something you want me to touch on in the future episode, the best way to let me know about that is to pop into the Pro Wrestling Sound Off line. Call in at 267-642-1160, and I will get to those questions, comments, or concerns in a future episode. Tonight, I am Dr. Fro. I'm bringing you conversation about the news around the world of professional wrestling. Let's get started with Tony Khan making the news today, having a conversation about Ilja Dragunov. Now that Ilja Dragunov is a free agent, obviously reporters, news agencies are going to want to report on his status, the opportunity that he potentially has to appear for any wrestling company in the world right away because his contract expired. This is not a termination or early release, which would carry a 90-day no-compete clause. And Tony Khan was asked about this, to which he responded that that's a great wrestler. However, I don't know the contractual status of people that don't work here. So Tony making it very clear, he's aware of Ilja. He knows his work is phenomenal. He's a great wrestler, but he doesn't know the contract status. He doesn't know about no competes. He doesn't know all the subtle nuances. Now, I'm sure that Ilja Dragunov would be in touch with his representation, his agent, his lawyers, and if there is an opportunity to work, which it sounds like from all indications we've had so far that that's a possibility, then we could see, and I think this lends into possibly seeing him appear at All In Wembley in a couple weeks' time. We're about 9 days away from the show. I think that would be a great way to really pop the crowd that day. You're talking about an established European star appearing I don't want to say on home soil, but pretty darn close, and that would really get the fans going. I think it'd be a great get for AEW, that hard-hitting, smash-your-face kind of action that he loves. I think it'd be perfect. Ric Flair in the news today, and look, I give Ric Flair a hard time sometimes with some of the crazy stuff he puts online, but this was an interesting post. He was comparing himself to some of the other wrestlers who have left the business and total matches performed. And I know a lot of people right away want to question Ric Flair on his numbers, but there is an opportunity. You can check into certain databases, cagematch.net, Pro Wrestling Wiki, things like that, where they keep track of wrestling matches going back decades. And Ric Flair posted a graphic. It had Brock Lesnar retiring with 445 matches, Triple H retiring with 1,990 matches, John Cena retiring with 2,329 matches, The Undertaker retiring with 2,502 matches, but Ric Flair with 5,007 matches across his career, being the all-time leader in most matches, at least in this graphic. Now, keeping in mind that Ric Flair comes from a different generation where we were working 7 days a week, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday, touring all over the world, all the different territories. It was a very different world than it is now. Brock Lesnar having 445. One, I would argue that Brock wrestles a far more physical style than what Flair wrestled when he does wrestle, but he did it for a much shorter period of time in terms of not just years, but the time in the ring. Ric Flair's wrestling 1 hour bangers, where Brock Lesnar's wrestling 5 to 7 minute squash matches a good part of his career. So it's not apples and apples. It's apples and oranges. When it comes to people like The Undertaker was around for the tail end of that same era that Ric Flair grew up in, the mid 80s. Going around as Texas Red and later on different characters before he made his way to WWE and became The Undertaker. So he had some of that. John Cena spent some time on the indies and experienced some of it, but the majority of his matches are going to come in WWE, as are Triple H's. But it's amazing when you look at the numbers and realize just how much Ric Flair performed. And I would argue the number is probably higher than 5,007. It's probably 5,007 since they started creating these wrestling databases. But when you think about how many days they were wrestling, how frequently they were wrestling, how little they were home, and all the documentaries that are out there about the amount of time Flair had away from the family, it wouldn't surprise me if that number was even higher. Brian Alvarez in the news broke some serious news about TKO, the parent company of both Endeavor and WWE, attending the AEW Dynamite show on August 12th in Las Vegas. The two of their executives attended the show at the Pearl Theater inside Palms Casino Resort. They paid for their tickets just like everybody else, and they watched the show more likely just to get a feel for what's going on, but it certainly has raised eyebrows, made people think about what is it that these people are doing, why are they so interested in the AEW product. I don't know. It's very interesting to see them do that. I don't foresee us ever having the kind of relationship between these two companies where they co-promote or anything like that, just because it seems so divisive, and their approaches to wrestling is just so vastly different. WWE far more storyline driven and has a lot more theatrics, where AEW is all about the hard-hitting action and less about the theatrics. But man, you could just dream about what could happen. But it's definitely interesting to see people from TKO going there in attendance, and it wasn't like they were, stashed away someplace private. They weren't there on comp tickets, so it's not like Tony Khan brought them in, but they certainly didn't hide themselves from the audience either. So very interesting stuff. Something to keep an eye on to see how much TKO executives pay attention to the competition. Does that influence what they encourage in their own company, or is it just a curiosity thing? We'll have to wait and see. There has been a lot of talk online since SmackDown about Damien Priest. At the end of the tag team match against the MFTs, it looked like he was frustrated with R-Truth. He did pick him up, give him a hug at the end of the match, but people are thinking that this may be leading towards a Damien Priest heel turn, which I would be okay with if it meant elevating him back to world championship status. I don't want to see a United States championship run or an Intercontinental championship run. I would like to see him at the top of the card, challenging for championships. And I hate to say it this way because I'm older than he is, but he's not a spring chicken. The guy's in his late 40s, and if you're going to give him another run with the main title, it needs to be sooner than later. So I'd love to see him have another run, and if getting him into being a heel character is how you do it, then so be it. But for right now, it looks like they're holding firm. I suspect we may see a heel turn in the coming weeks, but definitely something to monitor. Another person we haven't seen on TV lately is Joe Hendry, and people have been wondering, like, since he came to the main roster, he hasn't done a whole lot, but right now it has nothing to do with crappy creative like it has been for some other people, which we'll get to in a minute. This has to do with the fact that there is a partnership between WWE and Real Short, where Joe Hendry is filming a live-action micro-drama that was going to stream online, and he's, acting, and this is a whole different role for him, and he's being kept off television while he's making this production with them. I'm sure he'll return. I hope when he does, they'll get back to the, say his name and he appears part of his character, and really use him far more effectively in an upper mid-card role early, and hopefully someday into a main event role. But we'll have to see. But so far, when people are asking, like, where the heck is Joe Hendry, this is the answer. He's filming. And it's kind of exciting that WWE would get behind him and put him in one of these, opportunities, one of their big partners to make a film, because that tells you where they must have confidence in him. Now we need to see that confidence in the booking. Where we're not seeing that confidence in the booking is with a recent NXT call-up, Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints has been off WWE television since June 27th when he faced Trick Williams for the United States Championship at Night of Champions. He did recently take a loss to Danhausen at a live event, and if you go back and check the records, he has lost 10 out of his last 11 house show matches. Now, this is a guy who, back in NXT, he defeated Oba Femi for the NXT Championship. Think about that. I get it. He lost the title back to Femi relatively quickly, but that doesn't matter. The fact that this is a guy who at one point you trusted to beat Oba Femi, probably the biggest star in the company right now, and now he's essentially doing nothing of value, is somewhat disappointing. Hopefully, they find a way to get him back on track. I see him as a mid-card talent who could easily carry a United States Championship at some point. Would love to see him mix it up with Trick, with Baron Corbin, with people at that level. I think it could really be a good thing. But he's also not the youngest guy in the world, 37 years old. He's, already well into his career. They need to figure out some of these talents that are aging and figure out ways to maximize their utility while they're still in their primes. And he's clearly still in his prime. Super athletic, has a great look. He could talk on the mic. He could do it in the ring. I actually think he's far better than a lot of people give him credit for. But WWE right now has not got anything for him that is overly satisfying or filling very many of the main event holes. He had the match with Cody. That was great. But since then, not a whole lot of stuff going on for him that really matters. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out over time. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, to Suno for creating the music and sound effects we use in our show. If you're looking to bring a new friend to Family Game Night, I got 3 options for you. 1, Sketchy People. Showcase our artistic side in this game from Beezle Games by, go into the GameCrafter.com, pick up a copy today. It's kind of like Chutes and Ladders meets Pictionary. Or if you want to try something a little different, you could see who can get in and get out of the supermarket the fastest with Banani Market by Doodle Games. You get your shopping list, go in, cruise around, grab what you need, get out. Very cool stuff. Or, look, if you got a different flavor, maybe you're more into sci-fi stuff side of things, Fufu Games has a game called Legendary Elements where you can go all over the cosmos collecting relics on your way to the final challenge. Check out one of those 3 games, all at thegamecrafter.com. The Game Crafter houses independent creative gaming options. You've been playing the same board games your whole life. It's time to get rid of Monopoly. No more Parcheesi. Get rid of Trouble. Get rid of Clue. Let's try something different for Family Game Night. You can do that with thegamecrafter.com. My high recommendation, because I bought 1 copy of each, is Banani Market by Doodle Games, Legendary Elements by Fufu Games, and Sketchy People by Beezle Games. Check them out again at thegamecrafter.com. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college, university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to my website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Wrestling Podcast.